Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Week 5 Bushina Bowl podcast update. I'm here, as always, joined by Eric Tang. Eric, how are you doing tonight?
Hunter, I'm doing well, and all I have to say is I'm alive, I'm safe, and I'm back inside the walls of Alexandria. So, there's that.
Sounds good to me. So, things are beginning to take a little shape here in the Bushina Bowl. We're seeing some teams separate a little bit, but we'll jump into some of the more specifics of that later. Next time we check in 2 weeks, we're going to have a much better idea of where things are heading in the league. So things are really heating up, and it's getting exciting in the 2015 season. Just wanted to go over, a lot of people have been interested in joining us on the podcast via phone call. We are looking into that in the future, and it's something that we're interested in, and I think, Eric, you'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it adds a little bit of excitement to the show. We kind of get to see what the rest of the league thinks about the current state of the league, and just also get some different opinions. And, our friends are characters as well, so I feel like it could lead to nothing but great things.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. You can always find out the latest on the Bushina Bowl by our Twitter, @Bushina Bowl. So be sure to check in there with more information coming soon about how you can be on the Bushina Bowl podcast. We're going to pause for a quick commercial break, and we'll catch you up on what's happened in the last couple weeks when we get back.
You don't wear shoes that don't fit, so I play golf with clubs that don't fit. Hi, I'm Lee Sayre, PGA professional at the Mountaineer Golf Center. I'm a certified master club fitter. Been doing that for 20 years and was top 12 in the nation one year.
I was fitted and they have worked for 10 years.
I was also fitted. I'm very pleased.
I've also been teaching for over 40 years. Come see me and I will help you fix your golf swing and ball flight. Come see us on 105 Extension behind Papa John's Pizza and check out our golf shop.
We're back here with the Week 5 update. It's time to catch you up on what's happened in the last 2 weeks of the league. A lot of things are happening here in the early stages of the 2015 season. We've got a third of the league at 3-1, third of the league at 2-2, and the rest down there at 1-3. So nobody is really running away with this at this point. Week 4, we saw some of the highest scoring in quite some time, and it was really some lineups that we're not used to seeing score that many points.
Yeah, not really. I feel like all of us we're pretty good fantasy owners here, but it's rare that we see the perfect lineups, so to speak, that we saw in week 3.
Yeah, so one of the matchups that week, which is pretty interesting, was the Legion of Lou going down to the Wrath of Erath in a matchup where Erath scored 148 points. But how about Matt losing with 137 points? That's got to be disheartening.
It really is, especially when you look at, we've got a standard scoring system. 148 points is pretty solid score, even in PPR. So when you put that much up in our league, you're really doing well. But to lose with 137, a score that would have easily wiped the table with anyone else in the league, it just sucks, man. I mean, for once, we could say that Lou didn't do anything wrong. He just got outplayed.
Yeah, wrong place at the wrong time, it seems there. A couple of highlights from that matchup. The most touchdowns this year and the highest points in a week were scored by the Eraths in this match. But not to forget about the artist formerly known as Johnny Manswell, had a whopping 183 points in Week 15 of 2013 against Money Edwards. So this is not the highest scoring matchup we've ever seen, but certainly is one of the few.
Yeah, Jim, that's a lot of points, Jim.
Really is.
I mean, that's a lot of fantasy football for you. So a couple other notes from the record book we want to hit on while we were digging away at some stats. Right now, the toughest strength of schedule goes to the Legion of Lou. I think they're sitting at 2-2 right now. The easiest strength of schedule, was Mariota Kart.
And this is, I don't want to throw anybody underneath the Mario Kart here, But this is a guy that kind of likes to make a lot of excuses when it comes to fantasy football. Like people have been hating on the 4-0 Panthers, I'm going to hate on you, Mariota Cart. You got an easy schedule out there, so make things happen.
Yeah, Drew, the Panthers are really doing great this season.
So another interesting league note is Excalibur, through 4 weeks of league play, is the only Bushina Bowl member.
Whoa. You're telling me Excalibur is technically the least active owner in the league right now?
Yes. The man has not made a move.
Can't believe it. Cannot believe it.
I know, it's a big surprise, but if you're out there, Excalibur, and you're listening, you might want to make a move.
He might be back in Ireland.
Power moves. We're making power moves today.
And now it's time for the Power Move of the Week. As we all know, this is one of our favorite segments here.
Mark, that is my favorite segment of the week.
You're not alone. You're not alone. So again, just to reiterate, the Power Move of the Week, we want to highlight the best, maybe trade or waiver wire pickup, somebody that really made a difference on your squad for that week. And this week you're going to call a little conflict of interest here, but I got to give it to my man Hunter.
Sorry, guys. I'm just making power moves over here.
He is. We did a lot of digging. This is really the last thing we wanted to do. But when you look at his roster, Alan Hearns from the Jags, Hunter, Dave, Trevor, I'm looking at you. Alan Hearns, 17.6 points in a victory over Little C.
Little Sunday morning scoopage.
Sunday morning scoopage. I mean, we wake up Sunday, we're all hungover from homecoming. I mean, who wasn't? And this man wasn't even on the Brochines roster. Yet he was able to scoop him up that morning, slide him in, and get that nice 17 points.
So as Blaze always says,
We're making power moves today.
all right. So that's going to be the power move of the week. Thanks for that, Eric. We're going to be now looking forward to the next 2 weeks, week 5 and week 6. We're likely going to see some separations start to happen here and really see the 2015 season take form. I know you're excited to see, who kind of separates themselves at this point in the season.
I am. You mentioned at the top of the show, we've got a third of the league at 3-1. I think this week we have one matchup between those two teams.
Right.
So we could potentially see 3 teams get out to a 1-game lead up there at 4-1. So it'll be pretty interesting to see that take shape.
And the 4 teams that are at 1 and 3 are all facing each other. So somebody's going to be left down there at the very bottom. So
Yeah, Bill, somebody's going to be facing each other.
it's going to be really interesting to see, who can stay alive and who's gonna heading for failure here in the mid 2015 season.
Yeah, it's early. We're all still pretty close, but if you drop to 4 losses, there with only 1 win, we've got people with the opposite record sitting up top. It's going to be tough for you to climb back from that.
Yeah, but bye weeks are really coming into play now. Waiver wire moves are ever important. Things are heating up into 2015 season, folks. Nobody's out of the running yet, so, keep grinding as always.
Keep grinding, definitely. And, watch those bye weeks. I myself am struggling with it. This week I have my stellar defense, the Panthers, led by second-year man out of Coastal Kentucky, Josh Norman. Just doing
Coastal
the work.
Kentucky is pretty solid.
I'm speaking from personal experience this week. You got to watch that waiver wire. You got to watch the the streaming defense lineups if you really want to be successful.
Hey, maybe Excalibur will end up making a move. We'll see.
Maybe he might. His hand is going to be forced soon enough.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for joining as always. I love to hear that people around the state are joining in and listening to what we got going on here. As always, follow us on Twitter at Bushina Bowl and get a little more info for next week on how you can choose the hashtag Power Move of the Week. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Sweet Carol.